I seek refuge with God from the accursed Satan. Yusuf al-Faransi, the god of evil and Satan. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, may the peace and blessings of God be upon Muhammad and his blessed family. How are you, brother? Once again with the emotional intelligence class number 27. Today we want to talk about a rather important matter. Just as Mr. Trump says, think about money. About money. Yes, we are going to talk about a little bit of money. How to get more money, how to earn money through emotional intelligence, of course. Does that matter to you? Yes. What we absolutely need nowadays is money. And the truth is very, we can say, regrettable that today humanity only cares about money. But we can learn ways to earn more money by achieving success at work. How can emotional intelligence and success at work help me advance? How can I progress in my job? How can I excel in my work? And what does it have to do with emotional intelligence? Look, brother, what was emotional intelligence? We have said it is a part of the intellect that manages, guides, feelings, affections, and emotions, directing them towards what I need, towards what I currently need for my work, and what I need for my success. Some simple examples, for instance, I have a professor at the university. This professor of, for example, physics, mathematics, whatever, is a stubborn, bitter, closed-minded professor, and I am not even interested in listening to him. Can you imagine where my emotion is now? Against that teacher, I hate him because he has detestable traits, because he doesn't let me speak, because he has given me bad grades, etc., etc. Now, what do I need in order to develop and overcome that material? If I continue with that hatred towards that teacher, arriving in class and hating him, looking at him all the time, the truth is that it disgusts me and I can't stand it for even 1 minute. So here, emotional intelligence comes to help you. How? Meanwhile, your emotions are managing your attitudes. My hatred makes me deaf in class. I don't want to listen to him. I'm going to play with my phone, and then I'm never going to learn physics. I don't know math, so I'm going to miss out on material. Is this with my boss at work? Right? Someone who is exploitative, a person who always wants the best for themselves, someone who receives a lot and pays little, etc., etc. I hate him, so I can't get along with that person, with that director. So I can't work well because I hate him, I ignore him, I'm not going to obey him, okay? Because I hate him. Are we even talking about work, right? Now, emotional intelligence comes to help you. It will help you remove hate and put in the emotion you need for your success, for your development at work. What do you need now? Look, I have to advance. I have to love that material, for example, physics. If I didn't love physics, I would never be able to learn it. I wouldn't feel like studying it, and I would practically lose it. If I am going to lose material, I am going to lose my career. If I am going to lose my career, I am going to lose my job. Very well, if I do not have sympathy for my teacher, for my professor, for my boss, if I hate them, then that hatred appears in my attitude when I am speaking. The hatred will be evident when I am complaining. This means there is a strong motivation to complain at work because I hate it. So emotional intelligence comes to help you. It says, look, with hate, you are not going to advance in that job which has stagnated you. It doesn't let you get started. How to get out? It says, look, either you want to succeed in that job or you're going to look for another job. Love the director, I don't know, the teacher. And in many cases, that is impossible. Change is impossible when you cannot. That is what intellect decides. We have already left emotions behind. Emotions do not bring you success. Emotions bring you a curse. Emotions provide you with an emotional orientation, and that will lead you to a clear and certain annihilation. Well, then you say, if I can't change this material or the job or the teacher, none of that, then I will stick with what I have. How do I fix it? Is this the question? How do I fix it? Now, meanwhile, if I hate that teacher, that professor, or what we are already working on, if I hate it in the meantime, I am not going to learn physics. I am not going to work well with that principle. None of that. We need to remove hate. Emotional intelligence helps by looking at the problem inside and outside of me. So the intellect comes to help you in both areas, helping you correct the bad attitudes of the teacher, the professor, the principal. Is that possible? Yes, brother, that is possible. It depends on how much your intellect, your emotional intellect has been developed. It depends on you. Everything is possible, and the least you can change within yourself is your emotion, which is hatred. How to change hatred? There is a very clear format. When I always think that my mind is focused on the negative points of work, of the teacher, of everything, then the only thing I see is we can say, contamination, the negativity of that person. When I only see negativity and hate, it's clear, it's logical that I will hate it. So how do I get out of that hate? Do not focus on the bad things. Then you will change your mental orientation and you will think about the good things. That teacher, no matter how bad they are, has some good qualities. They were assigned to you as a teacher and should have something good, and they are teaching you something valuable. So focus on the good things. When you want to speak, do not complain, because when you complain, you are repeating, you are remembering, mentioning the bad, the bad, the bad, and among the bad, there is hate. When you stop mentioning the bad things, the complaints, then you start to remember the good things. There is always a way to do it. And think about the good things in physics. If you can handle that material well, then you will achieve success. Can you work well in that? For example, gas station. Yes. Then you can become the boss of the workers, a personal boss. There you will advance more. You might even surpass that director you hate. It doesn't matter. So you obey him, you respect him, you show characteristics. We can say of sympathy, because no matter how bad that person is, it is your access to advance, no matter how terrible they are. Through respect, love, I don't know. Sympathy that you can show to that person, you can help them, and that person will open the doors to success for you. So even though you are in that job, when you always think about the good things, you will start to forget the disadvantages. The disadvantages are that they make you hate. When you forget, you close your eye, you don't see it. You open your eye, you see the good things, so you always move forward. We are talking about work, but the same applies to the couple. The marital relationship also experiences the same. There is a very interesting word, I believe it is from Imam Khomeini, when couples would come to have the Imam recite the formula for the marriage contract, which is done in Islam as yusand. So I have heard that the saying goes, before marriage, open your eyes wide. Look for any defects. Before marriage, if that person has many defects, do not marry that person. But after marriage, close your eyes and do not see any more defects. Be blind to your partner's flaws and observant of their advantages. Always remember, always be grateful, always mention, and mention. This will lead you towards a trend of love because you always see the beauty in your partner, always thinking of good things. Therefore, complaining in Islam is prohibited. One cannot complain. Instead, one can help correct through through respect and love. When a person sees that there is sympathy in that relationship, if there is love, there is an interest, not a negative interest. I am talking about both parties benefiting, both developing, both receiving benefits. In other words, not interest, but benefit through that relationship. Thus, that relationship will be a prosperous one and will help both advance more and more each day. Well, up to this point, we have learned that if I want to be successful in my job, in my studies, in my career, emotional intelligence helps me by managing my emotions, leading me to where I need to be for work. Look, brother, the key to success is satisfaction at work. When you experience dissatisfaction, when you complain clearly, emotional intelligence helps you not to complain, right? And you will become a grateful person. When you only see the good things, you will feel satisfied. With the little salary they are paying you, you will feel satisfied. Always think of good things in your life. Is that job better than being unemployed at home, suffering, which is better? Having a job is always better, of course. It should be a lawful job, a dignified job, one that is not smuggling, that does not harm others, and that serves others. That is perfect. Although it can always be better, and that is fine. Emotional intelligence helps you think in a clear manner, but emotions such as anger or joy make you think in a hazy manner. You are not going to see reality because you are viewing everything through a lens of hate or love, and love and hate make you blind to the point that intellect will no longer function. Because I love my friend at that job, I don't care about the prejudice they are showing me. That's ugly. Because I love that secretary, that girl I already want to flirt with at work, I don't care how I'm losing at work. That's not good. Emotional intelligence comes to assist, for example, a teacher in their work. If that teacher is a perverted voyeur, which unfortunately there are, I'm not saying all of them, right? Oh, out of every 100, I don't know how many. It depends on each place, each culture. But well, 101 is already good. Well, or more. Or you say, well, let's get into the details better than each 101. So, that morbid one who arrives in the class is a teacher, a professor, an educator. Then he will start, like a hunter coming to seek, looking at that girl he likes. He will begin to observe, and then he will desire. When he sees a loving glance, he will start to desire, and all of that will lead him to clear ruin. Because if a teacher takes advantage of his student, just imagine the consequences it will have. That's good, chef. You're not in the West, nothing happens. But well, let's suppose, right? It will have consequences, and at the very least, he will lose his good reputation because that teacher is an opportunist. But emotional intelligence comes to help you and says, look, brother, that is your secretary, that is your student. Take care, respect, do not betray your wife, do not betray your family. There are limits. Emotional intelligence helps you set boundaries. It is said that intelligence must control love in the heart. How to control the love of the heart? It is said that the gaze is the entrance to the heart. So from today, I will not observe a lustful gaze, a morbid gaze. I will not look at other women who are strangers, and with that, I will be at peace. But a person who leaves life in the hands of emotions, lust, and ambition is inevitably going to decline. There is no way out. He is going to be president of the US, and he is going to be a morbid person, a person that everyone hates. The most hated person in the world is going to be this one, who is more than foolish and more than stupid. He is also corrupt and perverted. A person whose face alone will disgust you. And so what? Moral decay. Well, if you want to achieve satisfaction in your work, you need to manage your emotions and seek the emotional factors that help you move forward. For example, on your way to work, you need to learn a language, you need to learn a skill, you need to learn something, whatever it is. And from there, you need to love that career in order to develop yourself. So emotional intelligence helps you and provides a plan for how to change love, desire, or we can say your tendency towards the better, and remove what is laziness. All of that is in the hands of emotional intelligence. Another advantage of emotional intelligence is that you can get the job you want. Why? Because it has a formula. Each job has its own formula. And if your intellect can analyze it well, the intellect will analyze it correctly, saying this is the path to reach the position I desire. Then it will program it. It doesn't matter now what you want. It doesn't matter now what you desire. The intellect says my purpose is this. You must want the journey. Then it will help you love the path to reaching the position. So you will definitely reach your position. Of course, there are obstacles. And when you already know where to go, you will have the resilience and courage to achieve what you need. But a person who leaves everything in the hands of emotions, with the steering wheel in the hands of feelings, will encounter an obstacle, will feel pressure, will experience disappointment, will become demoralized, will fall, will give up, and will get lost. How many people have we known who have started a career, a job, or a study, but have abandoned it in a short time? Why? Because they were weak people. In what way were they weak? Many of them were very intelligent individuals. The problem is emotional intelligence. They did not have emotional intelligence. They did not have their emotions under control. I don't feel like it. I don't want to. They bothered me. They told me this. This doesn't work. Brother, the weak person is condemned to failure. Resistance comes when you can withstand and manage your emotions. When disappointment comes to dominate your life, your intellect says, what a Lord disappointment. I know how to bring hope into my life, and I will start to fight, seeking hope, a ray of light in the darkness of life's disappointment. And so a person who already has developed emotional intelligence will not fall. Of course, all of that comes from a spiritual life. A person who is spiritually strong can manage their emotions, but a lustful, weak person can never make strong decisions. Of course, in Islam it is taught that through worshipping God, resisting fasting, all of that helps you. In the upcoming classes, we will teach how to strengthen intelligence against emotions. This means that the intellect has a formula that will be strengthened and how to control emotions. And there, at the end of this series of classes, we will teach it step by step. Don't worry. Well, I'm going to give another example of how you, through emotional intelligence, can succeed in a job interview. When you enter a job interview, many things can happen. And many things that happen in the interview are done voluntarily, or rather on purpose, to provoke you. If they see that you are a sentimental person, an aggressive person, a person who cannot control their emotions, you will lose. It's simple. You may be the smartest, the wisest, the most skilled, but if they see that you do not have good character and that you will slip in your emotions. So always in job interviews, the most important factor, the most crucial factor is how to control your emotions. Sometimes, for example, they start talking to you in a way that resembles friendship, getting close to you so that you, trusting in a friendship, sympathy, emotion, begin to reveal your secrets. Can you imagine? Right. And then they will know your flaws. What are they looking for? They are manipulating your emotions. In job interviews, for example, a psychologist is usually involved, especially when it is an important job. They will bring in a psychologist, someone who knows something about this. Then that person starts to manipulate your emotions. When they are about to stir up the emotions you have, they take advantage of it and extract your information. And you want to present yourself as such a person, a refined person, a person with character, a determined person. But that person, through emotional intelligence, comes to tickle you and draws out what they need from you. Brother, this is emotional intelligence. But a person who already knows how to manage themselves will even do the opposite. 2001 is the one who emotionally manages the interviewers. Everything is going to change. It means that you start to manage the interviewers and you will win them over. Yes, brother, that's right. Then you will always come out of job interviews successfully. A person who knows how to perform that intellectual maneuver, controlling their emotions, is destined for success. I say destined, meaning that they are necessarily going to achieve success. But weak people who get upset, get angry, and shout, "I don't want to," remain in childhood until they are 50, 60, or 70 years old. They are always doomed to waste their lives, wasting the truth. Advantages that God has given you, skills that God has given you, all the gifts that you have will be lost. Emotional intelligence will help you concentrate at work. Why? Look, brother, when negative emotions come, for example, something happens to you, a disappointment, a failure, all of that will bring negative emotions. Negative emotions are so strong that they prevent you from concentrating on your work, your studies, and your life. And distraction is the key to many flaws. We can say that many oversights in work and study come from distraction. When you can manage disappointments, negative energies, and negative emotions, you handle them, control them, and extinguish them. You can then concentrate on your work. In Islam, it is always required that the believer has the most developed emotional intellect. Why? In Islamic narrations, only your prayer is yours when your heart is present. A present heart means you are focused on what you say to God, in what you worship God. In the morning, at noon, and at night, the believer practices concentration. And concentration, which means, now I want to focus on the prayer, Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest. I want to recite the prayer and enter into the prayer. Throughout the prayer, there are thoughts that attack me, emotions that attack me. I don't know what they want to worry me about. So, I resist. That resistance that the believer experiences in prayer by thinking of a single love, which is God, focusing the intellect, if one learns to resist. That is why it is mandatory to pray in the morning, at noon, in the afternoon, and at night. They are 3 prayers, 5 minutes each. It's not much, but it is a practice that helps you to concentrate. If I can voluntarily concentrate on the rest, I will focus on the rest of the work and thus achieve success. A person who learns concentration will achieve success. However, there are other factors that can cause distraction, which make emotions rebellious. One of those is haram music, music that is forbidden in Islam, music that provokes the scene that it provokes. In you, meaning it comes to manage you. It is emotions. Lust. If you unleash your lust with morbid looks, you are going to watch porn. It means there are emotions so strong that they take over you, causing you to lose concentration. That is why it is haram. That is why it is prohibited. All the sins that are haram in Islam are prohibited because they are negative emotions and provoke feelings, ambitions. Everything that is negative is a negative feeling. It will take away your concentration. You lose concentration, you lose success. At work, you need concentration. In driving, you need concentration. In studying, you need concentration. That person is a very skilled individual, a very precise person, because they have their head in the game, not elsewhere. How are you going to have your mind where you need it if you don't have developed emotional intelligence? This means you have concentration and can endure. And the best is the Islamic practice, which is to abandon sins and pray 5 times a day. May God bless you, brother. In the next class, we will talk about emotional intelligence and how that emotional intelligence helps you improve your relationship with your partner. God bless you. A hug. I look forward to your comment. If you leave comments, it helps me, brother, to improve the talks, and it also motivates me to do more talks. A hug. Salam alaikum.